All right, guys. So I just made a video about Jon Jones earlier with John Morgan, and I thought that was it. I was hunkering down for my Sunday night, getting ready for the big submission ready morning after. You guys can go and hit the notification button for tomorrow with one Jed Meshew and one Jimmy Smith. So much to talk about. And I was hunkering down, getting ready for some peaceful shut-eye after a crazy day in the office here in UFC land. When what comes across my desk, what comes across everybody's desk? Jon Jones is dealing with yet another legal issue. Jon Jones, 37, is dealing with a misdemeanor charge of leaving the scene of an accident in February. This was just revealed after he talked about his retirement. We all spoke about what it meant for his legacy, fans, the Aspinall situation. I mean, you can watch the video of me and John Morgan breaking it down just before. So what does this mean? Well, how about this, guys? I mean, we talk about records all the time, right? We talk about records all the time. So how about this? Look at this. You see that record? You see that record? I mean, a record could mean all sorts of different things. I mean, would you say that that record matters? I think it would. I mean, that's the record that makes Jon Jones one of the greatest of all time when it comes to MMA inside the cage. But legacy can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I want to show you guys a record that not many people look at, many people know about. What about this? What about this? I want to start actually in 2012. So who the people that missed the whole lead into this, why is this legal issue at 37 for Jon Jones such a big deal? Have a look at this insane record of charges that Jon Jones has dealt with throughout his career. I just want to quickly mention a couple of points here before we talk about the latest one. 2012, crashes a Bentley into a telephone pole, right? Fled the scene. 2015, felony hit and run. This is the one where he fled a vehicle after he injured a pregnant woman. And there were reports there. There were alleged reports. Apparently he came back and then took something out of the car and ran away again. A pregnant woman got injured in that. 2016, the probation violation in Albuquerque, right? Allegedly drag racing and other traffic offenses. You would think, all right, man, well, this guy's going to turn it around here. 2019, battery charge in Albuquerque strip club, where he was slapping and choking a cocktail waitress. 2020, aggravated DUI in Albuquerque. Some crazy stuff there. 2021, domestic violence and battery in Las Vegas. We all heard about that story. I don't want to go into it too much. It's absolutely insane. 2024, assault and threatening a drug tester in Albuquerque, right? He was accused of assaulting and threatening to kill a drug tester during a drug testing session. The Albuquerque PD issued a summons for assault and interference with the communications. He later agreed 4 hours of anger management classes. Dismissal would follow successful completion and good behavior for 90 days. And now 2025, just as this retirement gets announced, we shortly after find out there's recent criminal charges for what? For what? What are they for? What are they for? Let's have a look here. Albuquerque police respond to reports of a crash in February when they approached a woman in the passenger seat of one of the involved cars. The woman said Jones was the driver of the vehicle and then fled the scene on foot. Look at the record. This guy has a crazy record of basically doing the same shit over and over. And in February, allegedly, this is what happened. This woman called, the police found this woman in this car. She said Jones was the driver of the vehicle. He fled on foot. She called Jones, and the police noted that the man on the line who did not answer direct questions regarding his identity, right, appeared to be heavily intoxicated, made statements of implying his capacity to employ lethal force through third parties. And then Jones was reportedly interviewed in person days after the crash and said the woman in the car left his house. Later said that account, and Jones was the last person she remembered driving her car. I mean, how many times? We looked at the record before. Look, I can bring up fights. You want to look at Jon Jones' record? He's got an incredible record. Look at the names that he's beaten in that octagon. You want me to talk about the fact that this guy is one of the greatest of all time? There's no doubt about it. One of the most talented and greatest athletes when it comes to combat sports of all time. There's no doubt about it, right? Now, some of you might say, all right, there's that. There's other things here as well. Well, we're talking about records. We could bring this up too. I mean, we were all there. UFC 200, not happening. UFC 214. You know, the man has had some issues. UFC 200, Jones claimed that it was due to a contaminated sexual aid, non-intentional doping. UFC 214, we all spoke about this about 1 million times. Testing positive, PEDs, win over Daniel Cormier was overturned to a no contest, stripped of the title. The question here is, when it comes to legacy, this is the real question. When it comes to legacy, when it comes to what sticks around after a fight is gone, we know some of our favorites, George Foreman, Muhammad Ali. I'm talking about those names. Is it this stuff that sticks around? Or is it this stuff? Or is it the situation that we saw with him and Tom Aspinall, where this fight basically didn't happen, where he wouldn't take the fight, and now he's retired? Whatever this means for Jon Jones's legacy, it's just impossible. Look, at the end of the day, we look at his legacy as a fighter. He's an incredible fighter, best of all time. But we look at his legacy with the fans. We look at his legacy in the sport from the perspective of events being canceled, from the perspective of not fighting Tom Aspinall, from the perspective of some of the other stuff that's happened, some of the question marks. What does that do to his legacy? I want to find out from you guys in the chat below, in the comment section, what is Jon Jones's legacy? Is he the greatest of all time? Or is he on the other side of things? How much do you guys count in everything that's happened to him in the past, the charges, the run-ins with the PEDs, the canceled events? Do we look at him as the greatest of all time because of what he's accomplished in the octagon, the light heavyweight, undefeated, outside of this whole Matt Hamill thing, which we won't count? Or do we have to factor in some of the stuff that's happened over the past year with Tom Aspinall? You know, let's say he wins that belt. Let's say he fights Stipe, vacates the belt, goes off into the sunset. Potentially, you know, maybe this doesn't hit as hard. Fans don't sit around on their hands and knees waiting for this thing to happen for a year. Tom Aspinall fights. Potentially, that doesn't hurt his legacy as bad, but with everything together at the same time, how does that impact his legacy? By the way, what about this? Francis Ngannou entering the chat. Dana White not interested in bringing him back. I don't remember losing it, mate. It's still in my closet when someone asked him, come back and get your belt back. Francis Ngannou saying, I don't remember saying I want to come back. But surely, at this point, with the heavyweight division in the position that it's in, right, with the rankings that we've got, we've spoken about it with John Morgan. I'm sure we'll speak about it on Submission Radio morning after. Surely with those rankings, we've got Cyril Gane. Obviously, we've got Almeida in there, but surely with those rankings, I know Francis Ngannou is with the PFL. I know he's got fights left under there, but surely there's a way we can figure out a way to get Francis Ngannou back into the UFC in a fight or two and make this Tom Aspinall fight happen after he goes through Pereira and Almeida and Gane. Surely that's the fight that needs to happen. We've seen Dana White put aside his differences with Tito Ortiz. Surely he could put aside his difference with Francis Ngannou. Let's have a look to see what happens next. Guys, I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think should happen next with Tom Aspinall? Do you want to see Francis Ngannou back in the UFC as soon as possible? And what is Jon Jones's legacy to you? Again, Submission Radio morning after coming at you live at 2 p.m. LA time. That is 5 p.m. New York time and 7 a.m. Melbourne time. That is tomorrow here. And that is today if you're watching in America. So jump on, jump into the live section, click the notification. We are going to be going through all of it, as well as UFC 317, some Baku stuff, and everything else in between. Of course, your live questions as well factor into the chat too. So jump on that. Also, look out for the Luke Thomas UFC 317 preview. Drop soon. And a very special interview with Beneil Dariush as well is coming out, as well as some other stuff around the corner. So subscribe to the channel if you guys can. Please join up as well. That really makes a lot of difference as I try to push forward and keep the channel alive. Make sure you jump on, and I appreciate you guys liking, sharing, subscribing. And I'll see you guys on Submission Radio morning after shortly.